What's up, guys? Just your girl Shy Gemini coming to you with another recap for Queen Sugar season 3, episode 7 or 8. I can't remember, but it's one of the two. Anyway, I'm gonna get started, and I like to go character by character with this show, because they flip back and forth so much between different scenes. It's just better to just go character by character versus like scene by scene. So pretty much Charlie and Prosper's storyline was kind of neck and neck this episode. Charlie, of course, shows up to his house to help him and make sure that he has everything done for his move, because he actually has to be out the house that day. So she wanted to make sure he had everything that he needed in order. Well, of course, when she gets there, it's not in order. He's not done packing. Stuff is still kind of all over the place. So she's like, Prosper, why didn't you call me to help you? You can't do this alone, possibly, especially with him being on a cane. Like, you need help. So, Prosper, being the prideful man that he is, he was like, I got it. It's fine. I'll take care of it. At this point, it's crunch time. So Charlie's like, look, we're going to help you get everything done so you can get out of here on time. So she called Nova and Ra over there to help him finish getting his place done. He leaves to go meet Vi for lunch while they're still packing his house. And when he gets there to Vi, Vi is basically telling him, like, we're family, Prosper. Whatever you need, come to us. Prosper is a very prideful man. He's old school. He's very old school. So you know how it is with old school men. They don't want to accept help because they feel like it's a sign of weakness. But Vi, again, reiterated that we are here for you. If you need us, if you need anything from us, we're more than willing to help you. So we'll see if Prosper takes that advice. It's very hard to get him to really just accept help. So they're going to probably it's going to be like pulling teeth to get him to admit any help that he needs. While they're at the house, Charlie and Nova, because I think Ralph left at this moment, they're reminiscing and they're having a good time, laughing about some of the things that they have went through their childhood, the different boys that they've dated. And Charlie's like, so speaking of, the boys and stuff that we've dated, who is this mystery man that Aunt Vi may have or may haven't mentioned? And I know if Nova could shit an egg out of her ass at that moment, she would. She just brushed it off like, oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Like, nothing to really talk about at this moment. So I can't wait till Charlie finds out that Nova could be possibly trying to start a relationship with Remy. That's going to be a disaster. Mark my words. When Prosper comes back to the house, Charlie's trying to get him to let her know what his arrangements are. I'm not sure if his sister was coming to get him or his daughter, but somebody was supposed to come get him to come stay with them. Prosper is trying to get Charlie out of there because the truth of the matter, Prosper don't want to live with nobody. He's prideful again, and he would rather go rent a room than to have to live with someone and feel like he's a burden. And I totally get that. And she's like, you can't do that. We're not going to just let you go stay in a room. Like, are you kidding me? She said, Prosper, you can come stay with us. Come stay with me and Micah. She got that big old house, that big old mansion. Come stay with us. Prosper is not having he's not having it at all. He was like, I don't want to infringe on you, Charlie. I can't do it. He said, I don't want to go to my sister because she has a family of her own. I just rather do this alone. And she said, no, Prosper, I'm not going to let you do it. And matter of fact, I'm not leaving until you come with me. I'll sit right here until you realize that you have a family with us and you can come stay with me. So Prosper couldn't help but laugh. And he's like, you're stubborn just like your daddy. And she said, well, you know what? Thank you. That's a badge of honor for her. So he had no choice, honestly, but to go with Charlie because she wasn't going to leave him. So when they get there, at the house, of course, Micah's there with his troublemaking friends, and I'll talk about that. And I like the fact that Micah was so welcoming to Prosper. He took his bag. He said, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And I think in that moment, that kind of took the weight off of Prosper. Like, it was okay. These people really genuinely care about you and they want to help you. Micah's trying to make sure he's comfortable. He's showing him how to work the remote. He was like, look, just turn to the Westerns. I ain't got time for all of that. So he turns to the Westerns for him and he gets comfortable. Again, Charlie is working on her plan to get the Landrys and figure out what and how to get them to get their land back, to get everybody's land back, find some kind of loophole in however they got the land. So I forgot to mention that she told Prosper that I'm working to get your land back, so don't worry. I'm doing everything I can. I'm trying to get all the information I need. So, and you know, Charlie's determined, so she's probably gonna get him. She's probably gonna have to go through hell and back, but she's gonna get him. So Nova calls her, though, to give her some information about one of the Landry brothers, that one of his frat brothers actually works for the EPA. So it seems that maybe they work together to give this false information that something's really wrong with the land, and that's why they need to take their property, when really it's not true. So they're going to have to find a way to get some kind of outside source to see and test the land to see if it's actually any type of issues. See, these people, it's so many, it's like you think about these things in real life, how people can work together that may have like these high-powered jobs, and they can work together to screw you to get what they want. It's scary. It's really scary, really. So Charlie's on the case, y'all. We go back to Nova. Nova really didn't have a big role in this episode, to be honest. She was pretty much there for Ralph Angel and, you know, getting him to see some things that he needed to see. And we saw her doing some kind of sage thing with the land. And I don't know who that picture was. Was that a picture of Remy? I couldn't tell, but she, you know, Nova is into her whole, you know, spiritual, like, you know. But anyway, Ralph Angel. So Ralph Angel actually tells Charlie and Nova about them putting a schedule together. Darla wants this schedule for Blue, and he's going to try to comply and work things out with her. Charlie puts her attorney hat on and was like, you know, make sure you have everything set in stone. Make sure everything is crystal clear so you won't have no issues, because, you know, Darla's a crackhead and she can't be trusted. Rob actually goes over to Darla's house to see the finished product, and I must say it's really nice. It's actually much nicer than Ralph Angel's house, because Ralph Angel's house is kind of a shithole, and I think maybe because he inherited it from his father, you know, they wasn't really up into the upkeep and all that stuff. So it seemed like Rob was getting kind of the green eye. He's looking around, and Blue's room is actually really nice. It's painted. It has kind of like a theme to it. Like, it's really nice. They are discussing creating a schedule for them to go back and forth, for Blue to go back and forth between Ralph Angel and Darla. Ralph Angel also says, well, since you have a key to my house, I was thinking maybe I could have a key to your place so that, you know, if we come and you're not here, we don't have to sit in the car. And I'm like, okay. So she agrees. They want to keep it as cordial as possible. And so, you know, Darla comes with her, you know, I want to keep Blue more often. And Ralph Angel is like, let's take it slow, like, calm down. But you know, Darla is really like feeling herself. Darla, you've been back for like 5 minutes and then you expect things to just turn around and for Ralph Angel to trust you. Remember, you're a drug addict. You guys, unfortunately, and this is no offense to anybody who has dealt with drugs, but I feel like you can understand anything can happen and you're new in it. So it's going to take some time for him to trust that you can handle Blue and that you're not going to set him up to the point where he gets used to being around you and then you up and disappear. Your track record is not that good. Darla, please, like Ralph Angel said, slow down. But at the same time, Ralph Angel, I have to get you together because this fighting and not trying to work with her, again, is not going to work in your favor. And you don't want the courts to get involved because when they discover the paternity of Blue, they could fully give her full rights. So you need to find a way to work with her. So she tells him that she wants 50% of the time. 1 week at her house, 1 week with Ralph Angel. And I'm like, what kind of stability is that? I could see maybe in the summertime, but when school starts, like, how can that work? Of course, she wants to also be able to go to the PTA meetings and field trips. That's fine. But, Darla, I feel like at this point, you kind of asking a little too much. And I know some people are going to be like, how's that when that's her son too? But again, we have to look at the history. We got to look at the track record. She don't have the best track record. So she going to have to, I would feel how Ralph Angel feels, to be honest. So, you know, he brought up the fact that her parents are helping her with this house and all these things, you know. Ralph Angel is pretty much a single dad doing it on his own. And she was like, it's not like you got this house on your own either. This is your dad's house. That's your dad's house. And they're going back and forth. And then she basically told him, you can see yourself out. So that didn't end well. They're going to have to mature. Both of them are going to have to mature to work with each other and co-parent. This is so reminiscent of real life because I see some people that advertise the issues that they have with their baby mother or their baby father, and I'm like, you catch more bees with honey, honestly speaking. So they're gonna have to get that together. So Ralph Angel's all distraught about the situation, the conversation he had with Darla, and when he goes to get his check, you know, Tran approaches him and she's all excited to see him and talking to him, and Rod's not his usual self. He's a little distant and just like he's irritated. So Tran could feel that. She stepped back and just left. Nova comes by Ralph Angel's house later and he's wallowing in a bottle of Hennessy. She sits down and he's telling her, you know, he thinks he's going to take up more shifts to be able to provide some of the things that Darla is able to give. You know, art supplies, clothes, and all that stuff. And I'm like, Ralph Angel, you're taking care of the boy. Damn all the material things. You're taking care of him. He's pretty much what you know. Because Darla hasn't been there. So all that competitive stuff, you need to throw it out the window. Again, another storyline I can relate to because I feel like, you know, you do feel like sometimes you're in a competition with the other parent when you're not together. But really, it shouldn't be about that. It's about providing the stuff that they need and not necessarily the things that they want. So Nova's like, you cannot possibly pick up any more shifts. You're going to run yourself into the ground like daddy. You're trying to be like daddy, and you can't do that. You have us to help you to take care of Blue. And she said, you know, daddy wasn't as strong as you thought he was. You thought he was handling it, but the man was in the field almost about to blow his brains out. So you don't want to go down that route. You don't want to be working yourself to death, literally to death. And of course, Ralph Angel was taken back by what he found about his father. Because again, strong black man in their eyes, nothing bothered him, but he really was on the brink of killing himself. So that actually caused Ralph Angel to rethink it. He's not going to do the extra shifts, and he went back and smoothed things over with Trin. And I was like, don't you mess up that with Trin, because Trin is a good woman. You don't mess that up with her, Ralph Angel. So Vi. Before she met with Prosper, she was sitting there practicing her little speech with some of the waiters at her old job, you know, doing her pitch for Mr. Rollins. And she does really good. She nails it. And when it comes time for the actual day for her to pitch it to him, she's at his office, and as she's talking, her lupus started flaring up. And I'm like, oh, Lord, like this is the wrong possible time for this to happen. She can't get her words out. She's sweating, and it's just hard for her to focus. And Mr. Rollins looking like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And he realized that she was in no condition to drive herself, so he took her home. Well, Mr. Rollins came back. They're talking, and at first he was all eager, like, you know, investors are ready to move and ready to get this going. So what's going on? So Vi actually decided to be honest with him and tell him, look, I have lupus, and I'm managing it. It'll be fine. I'm taking care of myself. It won't be a setback. We can still work together. It won't be any issues. Well, all of a sudden, the eagerness that Mr. Rollins had to get this project up and running, now it's like, oh, you know what? I appreciate you being honest with me about your illness. I'm sorry to hear that, but, you know, we're not going to worry about the investors right now. Don't worry about it. And it's almost like a never mind situation with him. And you could see the disappointment in Vi's face, because I think she sensed that he's not going to want to do this project with her anymore. So she's going to be back at square one. And I just felt so bad, because Vi deserves this break. You know, she's always wanted this break. And I just feel bad that now he may back away from it because of her illness. And I can understand why he would want to, because that is scary. This is your moneymaker right here. She's going to be responsible for the pies, and she might not be able to do it because she's going to have flare-ups. So I kind of get both sides of the, you know, spectrum. So I hope he just goes home and mulls it over and thinks about it and decides to still do business with her. My last thing that I'm going to talk about is Micah and his troublemaking friends. First of all, I know when Charlie comes home, she gets tired of seeing him in her house, probably eating up all her food and just being there when she home. So, but she acts cool about it. Not the typical black mama that I'm used to, but she plays it off. They leave. But before they leave, actually, they're looking at the pictures from when they went to the plantation. And it is annoying to see the white folks at a plantation where you know that your ancestors have built. They probably were beaten into building, and they're there taking selfies. I totally get it. But again, their radical behavior is going to get them in a lot of trouble, and Micah needs to steer clear of them. They want to stage a protest at this plantation. They want to get some kind of red spray paint or something to symbolize blood and spray paint the names of the ancestors that were killed on that land. Stupid idea for these teenagers. They can't handle the consequences of doing this. So they want, of course, Micah to be in. But Micah's getting flashbacks of when he was arrested. And I'm like, yes, let that be your guide to not do it, Micah. Think about when you were in jail and that man put a gun in your mouth and you peed on yourself. You don't want that anymore. So I would suggest you wouldn't do it. But of course, the storyline wouldn't be a storyline if he didn't do opposite of what I want him to do. So Micah's going to do it, and he's going to be the lookout guy. Micah, you're going to get in trouble. I got a feeling his grades are going to slip. Kiki's going to dump him. Like, he's going to be in a whole lot of shit because this group are out of their mind. They are so radical. that's all, guys. Another great episode. I can't wait till it gets to the point where the Landrys and the Bordelons, and maybe even some of the farmers are getting together to like go head to head with the Landrys to save the land. And when everybody figures out exactly what they're doing, building that prison, I can't wait to that part. And I get the vibe that maybe Jacob didn't realize that what's going on with the Landrys, because he might be the soft spot in that family. So I don't know if he really knows exactly what they're doing. So that is it for my review. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thumbs up this video, share it. Any suggestions you may have, leave it in the comment section. That's it, y'all. I feel like I'm rambling. I will talk to you again soon.